we got Ronan in the car. For his first training session for his board and train, I like to try and get a really good feel for how a dog operates out in public with me as the handler. I feel like I'll already have a pretty good idea because of the training that we've already done together, but just want to try and get myself reacquainted with him and just get a feel for how he handles when I'm the one holding the leash, so that I can get even more insight as to how his brain works, what kind of communication he likes to or easily absorbs, just to try and make training more efficient for everybody. We already know that he's an emotional dog that has anxiety. I feel like that is something that is going to be a part of him for the rest of his life. He's just going to be a dog that is just generally more anxious, kind of like how people can be. So I think when we're working with a dog like this, the environment that we choose to put the dog in is going to, while we're training and just in general, is going to make the most difference in their behaviors that we want them to do happening more. So we want to try and find a like his point, and by that I mean when we're about to go to Lowe's, it's hot as hell outside, so we're not going to be working outside. We're going to be inside where it's cooler. At what point does he start to kind of surrender himself to the environment? At what point does he find himself able to relax? What stimulus sets him off and ruins that relaxation in him? And when we're talking about relaxation in a dog, it can be kind of tricky because the biggest question is that handlers have is, well, what does a relaxed dog look like? And I think it's different for every dog. In general, there are body language signals that illustrate what a relaxed dog looks like versus not. And usually the go-to for me is gonna be like a monitoring of respiration rate and also how they hold their body. So, a dog can be in a down position, which is a stereotypical relaxed position, right? A lot of people that have dogs that are reactive want their dogs to master a downstay, and they think if their dog can downstay in the face of something that usually set them into an overreaction episode, that they've succeeded in making their dog calm. I disagree with that. I think dogs can be in a downstay and be like super emotional and just be like a little pressure cooker. I don't want that. I want to see the dog have a sense of relaxation and peace at their core and have it radiate out through their body language, instead of their body just being put in a position that makes them appear to be calm. It's something that I've learned as I've worked dogs more. So it's going to be a lot of watching Ronan, trying to capture the relaxation behavior and figure out the most efficient way for me to reinforce him for that relaxation. To be honest with you, I feel like my biggest role as a handler is going to be controlling the environment that we're in, because I think the environment for him is the biggest trigger, and therefore it's also going to be the biggest reinforcer. So by that I mean, if the environment has as so much power as it does to Ronan, it can be its behavior can be very aversive or very rewarding. And so for Ronan, an aversive environment is one that has a lot of energy, a lot of stimulus, a lot of novelty to it. And a non-aversive environment, so a reinforcing environment, is one that's got less novelty, is more calm, okay? So my goal is to try and put him in these spots, these different environments that challenge him, but have him kind of push through that bubble of discomfort and have him come out on the other side realizing that you know, he was able to survive that, and it's not going to be something that he needs to, you know, rev up as much about. That sounds easy. It's not, though. It's not. When we're working with desensitization training, we can't just put a dog in an uncomfortable situation and just like wait 2 hours, right? That's not what we're doing. It's about how much discomfort and that you put on the dog. So we're gonna try and make him just a little bit uncomfortable to try and push him a little bit so that he can improve. But we don't want to like deep dive him into the thing that he's afraid of, because that runs the risk of doing more harm than good. And we certainly don't want to sensitize him to the triggers as much as we want to desensitize him. And so if we kind of push him too much too soon, we run the risk of making him worse by further sensitizing him to it. So my ability to control the environment is going to play a big role in how that kind of swings. The way that I can control the environment is by modulating my distance away from people, telling people not to approach us, not to interact with us, and kind of being like his bodyguard, if you will, so that he doesn't feel so much as the need to keep himself protected, because I'm doing that for him. And we want, and in that comfort, what we want to see from Ronan is these different behaviors that he can give to people, like avoidance behaviors, and reinforce that. So like, instead of him lunging to snap at a person that's talking to me and approaching us, if he tucks his tail and moves away, I want him to do that. And how do I reinforce that? I reinforce it by moving away from that person or telling them to leave, right? So that's kind of going to be the general arc of what we're trying to do here. I am so excited to work with him on this. I'm so excited that you asked to board and train, because I love behavior board and train. So I'm really excited to see his progress, and I'm going to document it along the way.